This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X-Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
And welcome to the X-Zone, everyone. My name is Rob McConnell, and for the next 4 hours, I'm your host and your guide as together we cross the time-space continuum to this place that I call the X-Zone. It's a place where people dare to believe and dare to be heard. It's a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. And the X-Zone comes to us and you Monday through Friday from 8 p.m. Eastern until midnight, right here on the X-Zone Broadcast Network and the Starcom Radio Network. Worldwide toll-free 800-610-7035. Email xzone at xzoneradiotv.com. On all social media sites, X-Zone Radio TV. And you can listen to the X-Zone live as well as our refeeds at www.xzoneradiotv.com 24/7, 365. Just a quick reminder. This is the last day of August. It is August the 31st. Tomorrow we start September, which means we have a countdown until September 30th when we're having the debate of all ufology debates right here on the X-Zone Radio Show. Stanton T. Friedman will be debating Michael Horn, the topic of the debate, the Billy Meyer case. That is Wednesday, September 30th from 8 p.m. until 10 p.m. Eastern. And then from 10 p.m. until midnight, we are going to have a round table with various guests discussing the results of the debate. So once again, mark it on your calendar. Wednesday, September 30th, from 8 p.m. until midnight, the Billy Meyer debate with Stanton T. Friedman and Michael Horn. Exonation, my guest to this hour is a young lady we've had the pleasure of having on the show before. Her name is Helen Rees. She is a medium of over 20 years. Her focus is on spiritual healing for mind, body, and soul. With a working background in finance and accounting, she has come to appreciate the importance of bridging the gap between the material and spiritual worlds. Now, Betty, mind energy healer, once wrote, "It's up to every one of us to seek knowledge, improve the power of our mind, and discover what we really are capable of with the expansion of our mind, health, excitement, and positivity, and very important, independence and self-reliance. Armed with a lighthearted attitude, my guest this hour, Helen Rees, resonates strongly with this view and teaches others not to give in and move forward regardless of life's obstacles." Joining me now from Australia, where it's tomorrow. I always find that strange. I'm talking to tomorrow from yesterday. Here's Helen Rees. And Helen, welcome back to the X-Zone. Always great talking to you tomorrow.
Good morning, Rob. It's a fabulous day here in Brisbane, Queensland. And thank you for having me.
It's always a great pleasure talking to you. I love your energy and the way that you look at life, and we need more positive influence in our lives these days, and that's what you bring to the show.
Oh, well, thank you. Hope so. Don't like to live negatively.
No, but it's kind of hard in today's world not to, with all the uncertainty, all the unrest, all the negativity that people of all ages are faced with. And then we're inundated with data from the different handheld devices that we all carry, and the amount of data that we're challenged to assimilate and make some sense with. So how do we take the material over data flow that we have and work it in such a manner that we can actually, bridge the gap with spirituality.
Well, to be spiritual really is a matter of meditation.
Mm-hmm.
But to bring that together with our everyday life, which is the most, really, we have to bridge the gap in order to move forward properly. And that gap that I'm talking about is the simple things, is not to take yourself too seriously, to look at everything you do and see if it's practical to be able to do that. Is it the way to go forward,
mm-hmm.
or do we live in the ethos? So the reality is we live in this material world, and we have to walk the path of that. But bringing it together is sometimes a little difficult. However, I don't believe it is difficult. It is only the obstacles of our mind that brings the difficulties into play.
So what should we do? Should we reevaluate ourselves and, if necessary, start all over again, take a good look at ourselves, find our weak points, find our strong points, and incorporate them into better understanding and living with spirit?
Every day we wake up, every time we wake up, mm-hmm. we should have a plan of what we're about to do during the day. Because if we don't, sometimes, and it doesn't have to be over, I'm not talking about complicated plans here. It's just the purpose with which you're going to move forward during the day. And that could be a simple thing like just going for a walk or just knowing that whatever you're going to do is going to help yourself and somebody else, and being kind. It's so simple. It doesn't have to be difficult.
So how do we get a better connection with spirit, Helen? Because I believe in my heart of hearts that today so many people have lost that connection, which is very valuable and a necessity.
Certainly is. And I would personally miss it greatly if I wasn't able to have that connection to the divine, and whoever the divine is for people.
Mm-hmm.
But how do they do it? I'll come back. Prayer helps, but also it is just sitting quietly by yourself and just taking a few minutes each day just to reflect on where you're at, mm-hmm. and to be able to look at yourself in a way that is respectful, and not to put a downer on yourself no matter what happens.
What I do, maybe this might help some listeners. What I do when I get home at night after doing the show, it's very early in the morning. It's about 3 or 4 in the morning when I get home. I walk around the house, go into the bedroom, give my wife a kiss, tell her I'm home, tell her I love her. Then I make sure our 3 little doggies are okay, and they always come to meet me at the front door. And I just appreciate what I have. And then I make myself a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, and I go to the living room, and I sit in my favorite chair with the lights off, and I reflect on the day I've had. And I ask myself, what did I do for someone today that was good? How did I make a positive change in a person's life?
And that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
It's you do need to help yourself, but you also need to be able to express yourself to other people in a very kind way, being kind, just smiling at people, because a smile can bring joy to someone who hasn't got anybody around them that will actually say, I see you.
I know you're there. You mean something to me. You're another person. You're another being. You're part of my existence. So why shouldn't people be kind to people? And like you said, a simple smile, opening up a door for somebody, or carrying I've done this many times. Carried groceries to the car for people that I think are having problems. Like, what's wrong with that?
Nothing. And I guess sometimes with what's going on in the world, because people are all at different levels, and sometimes the difficulties that they face in their own lives make them do things that aren't the best thing for themselves or other people. So sometimes there's that suspicion. If I smile at them, what's going to happen? And so it's the fear that takes over. But if we all just started to do that, then the fear would go away. And the actions of people might be toned down somewhat, instead of doing things that aren't what we would like on an individual level.
We're coming to my most favorite time of year, and that is the Christmas time. And it's not even September 1st here in North America. Yesterday, my wife and I went to Costco. It's a big wholesale store. You buy a membership, and it's just a massive store. You go in and you get good deals. Guess what they had displayed in the middle of their store yesterday?
What was that, Rob?
Christmas trees.
Christmas trees, yeah, well.
Christmas trees.
It doesn't take long, does it?
I'm saying, my gosh, we haven't even... Usually, Halloween was the kickoff for Christmas. Yeah. But now, not even September the 1st, and they had the Christmas decorations, Christmas wrapping paper, Christmas trees. And it's like, holy cow, slow down. Yeah. Like, even the retailers are pushing us now.
Yeah. Commerce does tend to take over, doesn't it? But perhaps it's because there's not a lot of money for the average person sometimes, and maybe it's that time factor that they're giving people to put things together for Christmas, perhaps.
That's a good way of looking at it. But as we get closer to Christmas, there's something in the air. I just call it the Christmas kiss, the kiss of Christmas, where there's love in the air. People have a little sprint in their steps. They dig deeper in their pockets to help organizations like the Salvation Army, the Red Feather, the United Way, the different food banks, the homeless shelters. And I often wonder, why can't we do this all year long? Why is it just at Christmas time we find the compassion to help others? People are in need all year long. Yes.
It's very sad, actually. But at the same time, some of it we've brought upon ourselves. And it mightn't be just our actions. It might have been somebody else's actions that's caused to be where you are. But at the same time, you have to take responsibility for yourself, and it's like you said, reflecting on what's happened and what can I do better to make it better? What can I do to make it better?
When I was in Scouts, there was a song and one of the verses was, "Help me, Father, this I pray, to make me a better person each day." And once again, we've seemed to have lost the connection, that spiritual connection. Whether you believe in God, whether you believe in Yahweh, whether you believe in Jehovah, whether you believe in whoever the deity is that you credit with being at the top of the totem pole, there seems to be a struggle going on between the different philosophies on who is right, who is wrong, and who should take over, who should lead, who should follow.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter in the end, for there is only one universal power, and it doesn't matter what we call that power. So it's understanding the natural laws that are around us and the cause and effect of everything that we do.
Yeah. Is it possible, like you said, whatever we call it, is it possible that by putting singular names and splintering up the religious philosophies that we are doing more harm than good? Is it possible that the time has come in our sociological evolution that we look and say, hey, listen, it's time that we took responsibility for ourselves, and religion as we know it needs to be revamped because it hasn't been changed in thousands of years. The human race has evolved, but religion hasn't. And religion, in I would say 80% of the case, is the connection to spirit.
Absolutely. But, more and more, well, what I see here in Australia is that people are they're not very religious here, not really. In fact, religion tends to take a back seat a little bit. But people are more of a spiritual nature. Now, whether it's because Australia is sort of a country that's quite isolated, we're surrounded by oceans, and maybe it's that, and because of it's old, the continent itself is extremely old. And so I don't know whether that's got anything to do with it or whether with the fact that we come from the convict colonies and all of that, and the freedom that people seek. And I guess if we bring it back to a worldly thing, we have to find our own freedom. And personality, the ego, tends to sometimes override our spiritual self.
Here in North America and in Europe, there is growing unrest between the Nation of Islam and the rest of the world. We're seeing that people are fleeing Syria, people are fleeing Afghanistan, making their way to Greece in order to get into Central Europe. Central Europe is
very sad.
It is. And
what are they going to find there? Because if you look at Greece, Greece is a poor country.
It is.
And when you see the thousands of people who have been promised the world by smugglers and the like, it's that persecution. I cannot understand the persecution that has been like a tightrope. It's like a tightrope around people's necks, if you wish to say it like that, and they can't breathe. So the only way they can do it is to escape. In the end, they have to be responsible for themselves in their own country.
That's right. And I think this is what the big problem is that certain countries have not, as I gave the example with religion, evolved.
No.
They stand back and they want to keep with their old ways. And when people from those countries leave and seek and go into what they believe to be the land of plenty, the lands of milk and honey, where they go to try and get a better life for themselves and their family, and God bless them. You can't fault them for that.
No.
It's like the countries like Syria, Afghanistan. They have to take responsibility. They have to make the changes.
Yes.
I don't think it's fair putting the burden of change, the financial burden, the logistic burden on countries that are already facing disastrous times, and putting all these immigrants into Greece. That's just making a bad situation worse, in my opinion.
Well, it's not just Greece; it's Italy. I believe it's even Spain, and it's all around that Mediterranean area where they're just flooding into these countries, thinking that life's going to be better. And unfortunately, unless they change within themselves,
That's right.
nothing will be different. And in fact, it just causes more anger, more
Hate.
angst about everything they do.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to change their beliefs. I was a bit devastated the other day when I heard the news of these two young girls in a Muslim country who were going to be raped publicly because their mother left their father. I was just devastated by hearing that. Why is it like that?
It's wrong. In my opinion, it's wrong. Now, here in Canada, we used to have, we used to say Merry Christmas. You're not supposed to say Merry Christmas anymore because it's not politically correct. It's season's greetings. I say to that bullshit. It's Merry Christmas. And I don't know how many times I've said this on air. If you come to a country that you want to live in, and if you cannot conform yourself to the way of the country where the majority of the population, the founding fathers of the country and what the country has been founded upon, if you don't like it, where that plane landed, it leaves from.
Absolutely. See, I don't understand why they come to a country for a better life and then want to proceed to change it. Change the way people look at things, because all it does is it causes anger. It's a bit sad, I'm afraid.
It is sad, and like I said, I can understand people wanting to have a better life. I think everyone is entitled to that. However, there is a right way and a wrong way of doing it. I don't think that that I should have to be told that I should say season's greetings instead of Merry Christmas. I don't think that I should be told I shouldn't say Happy Easter because of its religious connotations, that other religions don't believe in it, so I have to change my way. I don't see why other religions can tell me and the government that the Bible should not be in schools and that religious or scripture should not be taught in the schools.
Yes. If it's freedom of religion, then all religions should be taught in schools.
Exactly.
If that's what it is. But it's a bit like going to another country. And look, I believe the majority of Muslims are peaceful people.
Yep.
It's only, that minority that's causing the issues. But, everyone's got to be responsible for that. And it's up to the peaceful ones to make the changes, to make it happen. But, like if we go to a country like that, I don't even want to do that personally.
Right.
But we are expected to live as they do.
That's right.
So that's what they should expect when they come to another country that's foreign to them.
But you see, as I see it, is their country is not politically correct. Their country does not bow to the visitors or the new members of their society as we do here in Canada, the United States, and other countries around the world. Like, oh, yeah, okay, you don't want us to have the Bible in our schools. Okay, well, we won't because we don't want to upset you. Too bad. Buzz off. If you don't like it, go back home. Go live in the desert. Go live in a grass hut. Do whatever you want to do. I don't think that we should have to change our ways. What does it mean that the governments of these countries, including Canada, have an open door immigration policy because they want more people to come in under their tenure in leading the government, the House of Government, so that their party will maintain power because of new votes? Is this what it's coming down to?
Yeah, the politics takes over everything.
Yeah, I don't know. I just find it really bad. It disturbs me. It disturbs me to see people who don't deserve the white glove treatment getting it, and the people who deserve it are told that, no, you can't do that anymore because you're not being politically correct.
I think it's about equality of employment within a government. Mm-hmm. And when that happens, you're getting all sorts of people in there with different views. And this is where that political correctness comes from, and so-called political correctness. And I guess they're trying to show people what their beliefs are, but forgetting that other people are entitled to their own beliefs.
Yep.
And I guess that's what it comes to. And they're not connecting spiritually. Because if they were connecting spiritually and forgetting about the religious side of things, mm-hmm. then they wouldn't even be talking like they do. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion. Everyone.
And that brings me right back to the point. Is it time where we disband religions as they are today and reevaluate and get back to the core value of religions, which is spirit?
Absolutely. How do we do that? I believe if we as individuals mm-hmm. start looking spiritually at ourselves, then that quiet revolution will occur over many years. It will never occur in our time, but over hundreds of years, if we get back to that individual spiritual connection. But you see, a lot of people don't believe in the afterlife. Mm-hmm. And that's their difficulty. But they believe in God. So who do they think God is? He's not a personality, or she's not a personality.
Well, who is God? That's a good question. God? Who is God? Is he or she the creator of all? Is he or she the knowing force of all? Or is he or she the combined essence of all those who were, all those who are, and all those who will be?
Yes. When the Spirit enters you, when you feel the Spirit come into you, you get light bulb moments,
Right.
And that's when you become inspired. And when you become inspired, amazing things happen. And that's where bridging that gap comes into being, because it's that inspiration of life that you take forward that will make different things happen, amazing things happen. I believe in all possibilities, actually.
As do I, my dear friend, as do I. Helen, you and I have to take our break at the bottom of the hour. Please stand by. Always great having you here with us in the X Zone. X Zone Nation, Helen Rees is our special guest, www.eventshelenrees.com. That's eventshelenrees.com. And Helen and I will be back on the other side of this short break as we do some business here in the X Zone. Some of you will be listening to your local news, international news, and others. You're going to be right with us here in the X Zone as we broadcast live and around the world from our center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. My name is Rob McConnell. I'm with you Monday through Friday from 8 p.m. Eastern until midnight on the X Zone Broadcast Network and Starcom Radio Network. Don't go away.
More beautiful.
Ever wondered if your advertising dollar is really working for you? If your ad would have been here, you and more than 4 million people would be listening to it right now. Contact ads at xzoneradiotv.com.
Jeff Gilson didn't go out looking for adventure, danger, or the answers to most of the controversial political intrigues of the past 30 years. But he found all three when he began investigating the mysterious death of his close friend, Margaret Thatcher's favorite speechwriter.
Just an ordinary guy living in a small, sleepy suburb 20 miles outside of London, Jeff's questions provoked a powerful response on both sides of the Atlantic. He was shot at, warned off by the CIA, and formed a close bond with one of Israel's most notorious intelligence officers. Relive Jeff's gripping adventure in his fast-paced book, Maggie's Hammer. Peel away the layers of establishment deception and discover, as Jeff did, that his friend was an assassin with British intelligence, that Great Britain has been America's secret hitman for the past 30 years, and that Princess Diana was not the target in that Parisian tunnel. All of this and more when you visit www.maggieshammer.com and find the link to buying this explosive book online. More and more ordinary people feel they no longer have control of their lives. Jeff fought back. He asked the difficult questions. He set out to redesign his own destiny, and you can do the same using Maggie's Hammer as your guide. Don't waste a moment. Buy it today. Visit www.maggieshammer.com.
Good real estate websites are not just about showing listings, but offering visitors valuable information about neighborhoods, market statistics, tips, and personal insights. Luckily, you will find that on Roost, but you won't on many other real estate websites in Budapest. That's why we created Roost. Roost is a website with tailored results for the foreign investor, curated by Hungarian-loving expats who found their home abroad and decided to roost in Budapest. Let Roost help you get started on the right foot. Whether you intend to live, work, play, retire, or simply invest abroad, Roost offers all types of properties in Budapest, from affordable studios to luxury homes. From neighborhood insights like where to grab a great coffee or how to buy property, our team of local experts can answer your questions and speak to the direct concerns of a foreign investor. Buying foreign property is an exciting and complex adventure. It can also be very time-consuming and costly if you don't have the best information and resources at hand. Roost provides professional real estate services and assistance to an international clientele of foreign property investors and rental apartment owners in Budapest. For more information on Roost, visit their website at www.roost.co. That's www.rooste.co.
Manifestation is driven by imagination, intent, and passion. In our culture, all three have been distorted and disabled by modern media and exploitation. Re-engage your imagination and your passion by entering into the world of paranormal romance. Kahir O'Donnell takes her readers on an exciting journey into the endless possibilities of loving, passionate, and mutually respectful male-female relationship. Her latest book, The Long Dark Night, features special ops adventure, a daring rescue, a psychic woman from the stars, and a special agent that will die to protect her. The Long Dark Night by Kahira O'Donnell is now available at kahiraodonnell.com or amazon.com.
Unwilling to be the government's deadly assassin, gifted psychic Kahira Mitchell went AWOL and ended up buried under rubble in the wake of a great tsunami. She regained consciousness far from Earth on the medical ship of a Daguerrean intergalactic fleet. Has she been rescued or abducted by aliens? The Chalice of Carrie, Kahira O'Donnell's latest paranormal science fiction romance, is the passionate story of an Earth woman and her destined mates, twin kings from another galaxy. Kahira uses her gifts fighting alongside Lords Rom and Ra in a war that will determine the destiny of galaxies. The Chalice of Carrie by Kahira O'Donnell is now available at kahiraodonnell.com or at amazon.com.
Wouldn't you love to know the secret to everything? Well then, meet Dr. Kimberly McGeorge and her cutting-edge breakthrough knowledge that combines science with possibility. Dr. Kimberly brings real-life answers and healing to those open to alternative solutions. She teaches solution-based programs and classes that will change all areas of your life forever. Specializing in conscious creation, intuitive readings, and energy medicine, you can rapidly shift health, relationships, business, and money in abundance challenges quickly. Receive her best-selling book, Secret to Everything, at no cost by going to secrettoeverything.com/X-Zone. That's right, transformation can start now. Just go to secrettoeverything.com/X-Zone and receive Dr. Kimberly's book for free.
Welcome back, everyone. Helen Rees is my guest this hour. Her website is eventshelenrees.com, and Helen is in Brisbane, Australia, where today here in North America is tomorrow over there. And listen, if there's a way that you can actually check the numbers for me, in the newspaper in the next couple of days and send me the lottery numbers, I'll split it with you 50-50. How's that?
Do you want me to tell you a story about that happened to a lady just recently with Lotto?
Oh, I'd love to hear it.
This lady had, and it's about inspiration really. Mm-hmm. And this lady and her husband had lost everything, like their business, their home, you name it. They'd lost everything. And then she had $4 left in her pocket, and she thought that maybe the best thing that she could do was just go buy a lotto ticket. And do you know what? She won $1 million. Isn't that inspiring?
That is. And when people...
she just used her... This is what I was talking about, inspiration and connecting to spirit. She was there at the right time and she was ready to receive. And that's what happened. She won the $1 million. Isn't that wonderful?
It is. And people do not realize that they sabotage themselves most of the time by believing that they're not worthy.
So it was quite a dramatic, comeback for her, and her family.
And that's so wonderful. That is so wonderful. You and I talked the last time you were with us about meditation, and I think we ran out of time. And I promised my listeners that we would take a bit of time tonight to talk about meditation and why meditation is so important.
So, it is a way to regain clarity in your life. Mm-hmm. It is a time to sit quietly, let yourself just be still and not allow the thoughts of every day to come into being. Now, that's not always easy to do, but the easiest way is just to focus on your breath, because when you do that, you can't think. But it gives you time to reach that stillness. And if you do that every day, for a few minutes every day, the clarity that can come into your life is amazing.
Would that be equivalent to the old saying, take time to stop and smell the roses?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because, it's like when you sit and reflect on what you've done.
Yeah.
See, I think that's really important, to sit down and reflect, because we shouldn't, if we've made a mistake, we shouldn't beat ourselves up about it. We've made the mistake. We can't change that mistake if it is a mistake.
Right.
We can't change it. But what we can do is give ourselves the time to, how can I do that better? And that's what meditation does for you. It allows you to take stock of yourself. A lot of times we have to learn to forgive ourselves, and because we beat ourselves up all the time in different different things. What a silly person I am for doing that. But, it's about forgiveness. And the best way to forgive is to allow yourself to go over the scene, and then just give yourself time to reflect on it and then forgive yourself. And
not only do you beat yourself up, but in the course of a regular day, you might get beaten up verbally and psychologically by other people.
Yeah. And then that's when you have to forgive them. So you don't carry it. So you're not pushed down into that dark hole sometimes that can happen. If you suppress your feelings, your emotions, and I'm not talking about being explosive about the emotions, but being able to express it in a way that's not negative, if I can say it that way.
I understand.
Yeah. So it's if someone's is bullying you, excuse me, if someone is bullying you, then the best way to answer them is thank you for your kind words and smile at them.
Kill them with kindness.
Absolutely.
Yeah. How can we set our intentions to ensure that the intentions that we are asking for become reality?
Taking little steps, being sure that everything we do is practical and achievable. If we can have a big picture,
right.
There's no concerns about having a big picture, a big dream. But how do we get there? We don't get there in one big leap.
No.
We get there doing it one step at a time. So each day with your plan of what you're going to do, if you want to manifest something into your life, it's just looking at the little baby steps we have to take to ensure that we're going to achieve it. And then if we come to a point where we're not sure, we have to review what we're doing and whether this is going to be actually achievable and change our minds and do something different.
Our son has a favorite saying. He says, inch by inch, life is a cinch. Yard by yard, life is way too hard.
Absolutely. So, people forget the practicalities of life and only see what they want instead of looking at, okay, I might want, they might be wanting a house or a home or some sort. But see, what is a house? See, I don't want to have a house. I don't want a house. I want a home that's filled with love and happiness. That's what I want.
Right.
Because it doesn't matter where you live. It doesn't matter. We can't take it with us when we pass over.
True.
But what if everything within where we live, it doesn't matter what it is. It can be just a tent. It doesn't matter. If in that place we have love and we're happy, that's all that counts. That's all that counts. I believe this sincerely.
As do I. As do I. One of the simplest and yet most important, if not the most important aspect of life is love.
And without love, we can't go forward.
That's right. That's right. Because love is the beginning. With love, you have respect. With love, you have honor. With love, you are responsible. With love, you take a role in what this wonderful existence that we are all part of is about.
And being happy and laughing and bringing laughter into your life is so important, and it's so much more fun anyway. So
it is.
Why does life have to be so serious? It doesn't.
I've had guests on in the past who believe that if they put pictures of these beautiful cars on their fridge or these big magnificent homes or big piles of money that they look at, that it'll happen. And I keep saying to them, and these are some of the so-called top experts in the world, I say, you're forgetting the main important thing to tell these people. They have to work for it. It's not going to manifest itself.
You have to take action
exactly
for everything that you desire. And then it might not be the right thing for you. So that's the things that you have to learn to look at, review every day.
It's just like people have dreams. They want to accomplish things. And they start and they hit a little bump in the road and they feel it's a failure, that they can't do it. They shouldn't be doing it. And I keep saying, failure is a lesson in your success. You can.
Have you ever heard of James Joyce?
No.
Now, James Joyce was an Irish writer. I think he passed away in 1955. And he said the mistakes are portals of discovery. I found that's a really great. I think I've missed a few words there, but errors are the portals of discovery for what can happen in the future.
Sure. I don't know anyone who has been successful or is successful that hasn't had a failure on their way to success. It's not like some of these new age gurus talk about that. It's you if you confess it, you will possess it. Yes, but you've got to work for it. The difference between a dream and your reality is working at it to make it happen. It's not going to fall off the back of a cabbage truck into the back of your car, gang.
No. You have to work for it. Yeah. Every little action makes it happen.
In the world, to be successful, it's not 9 to 5, 5 days a week. It's giving it your all, giving it everything you can, being tough enough that when you're knocked down by a little setback, you get off your butt, wipe yourself off, and go again. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
Because the reward is what you really want. And the reward is you have succeeded. You have achieved your goal. And you know what? Once you achieve that one, there are many more goals. You've got the solution. You've got the formula now. You've got the formula.
I have. There's something. I did a small workshop on the weekend, and we were talking about intent and inspiration versus intent and what the difference was. But I almost lost. But where the thing that I gathered from everybody is that they forget to review their lives, and it's in the reviewing of that things happen. It was quite interesting to see the different people and where they all came from, and what they felt about everything.
What was the general consensus?
They all knew they had to do it, but it's actually about how to go about it that was the issue. They forgot that it's the simple things that make things happen.
Yeah. And before you and I went on air, I said my favorite old past saying was, life is simple, we complicate it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Are you finding that more and more people are opening up? Is it, and if you find they're opening up, is it that they're being touched, they're seeing that something is missing, and they're coming to the conclusion that, hey, there's spirit missing in my life?
Yes. What I'm finding is that the younger people, the younger generation, are the ones that are opening up to being spiritual. So a lot of them aren't that interested in religion as such. That's my experience here. But what they're interested in is being part of the whole universe, you know.
Yeah.
And what I find is that the universe is open to everyone. So out there, all the ideas are there. It is just if you're ready to accept to do something, that things can happen. It's a bit like perhaps my daughter gave an example of when she was 7 years old, and she dreamed at the time of, you know, the Walkman, how that it was going to be invented.
Really?
Now, she was only 7 years old. And I think it came about when she was 12.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, well, obviously I wasn't ready to do anything with that opportunity because I wasn't ready. And so that's what I believe is that we have to be ready in ourselves to receive and make something happen.
That's the key word. People have to be ready. They have to be able to understand a message that they're getting, a thought that they're getting, and they just open up your heart. I believe that's what it takes, is opening up your heart.
And being ready. And if you're ready and you take action straight away, that's when life gets exciting for you.
I am anything but a New Age guru. I'm not saying anything that I have not experienced myself. I know what it is to work hard. I know what it is to work on your dream and never let that dream go. I failed at many things, but I've looked at each failure as an opportunity to learn and to improve.
And so have we. We've as a family, we failed in lots of things, but you know, it's about getting up and starting again and just going forward, because you learn. If you learn from your mistakes and you don't repeat the pattern, then the life becomes more of a breeze. It's pursuit of happiness that's important.
And when it comes to your family, never forget the love. Never.
Absolutely. Never. I'm very fortunate. I feel I'm very fortunate because I have the love of my family around me, and because we all work at it. We all work at it together. It's not just me showing the love. It's everybody in the family is showing the love, and that's what it's all about. Everybody is responsible to do that. It's not just one person.
So many wise men have said, "All you need is love." All the religious icons, prophets, all you need is love. The 10 Commandments of Christianity, love.
Love.
Yeah.
You know, and there's nothing wrong with the 10 Commandments. You know, that should be the basis of what people should look at, really, and just live by those 10 Commandments.
That's right.
You don't have to be religious or have a religion to do that. So,
but basically, the 10 Commandments are common sense.
Yes.
It's very common sense, you know, like honor thy mother and thy father, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, and you know, it's common sense. They were the guidelines or the laws put down for society thousands of years ago, when societies were new and there was no law and order, basically. So the law and order was put down. And all that does is basically tells you how to lead a good life, you know, and then do unto others. Well, you know, that's common sense too. But the simplistic common sense that we have all been taught seems to have been overshadowed by the wants, needs, and desires as embedded in us by society. So how do we turn things around?
We just have to spread the word that love is the pursuit of happiness. The happiness is the pursuit of love. I don't care which way you put it.
I agree with you 100%. That's why I love having you on the show, because you get to the heart of the matter, and you make a positive difference, and you are one of my favorite people.
Oh, thank you, Rob. I enjoy being on your show, so it's great. Thank you.
Listen, we're coming to the time when you and I have to say so long for now. Let our listeners know what you're going to be up to and how they can contact you for one-on-one consultations.
Well, they can contact me by Skype. It's Helen R28 if they want one, if they want a consultation, or if they just contact me by phone. My mobile phone number is 61-408-061991, or they can email me at helen@eventshelenrees.com, or there's a contact there if people want to contact me, and I can answer them on the website.
Super. Helen, take care of yourself. I look forward to the next time when you and I meet here in the X Zone. Until then, my friend, take care of yourself and never stop passing the love around.
Absolutely. God bless to everyone.
Take care, Helen. Thank you for your time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now. X Zone Nation, Helen Rees has been my guest this hour. www.eventshelenrees.com. I'll be back on the other side of this news break at the top of the hour as we continue here in the X Zone from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Visit us online at www.xzoneradiotv.com, where you can listen to the X Zone 24/7, 365, as well as go through the archives and select what you'd like to hear on demand. I'm Rob McConnell. I'll be back on the other side of this break. Don't go away.